Hey everybody, welcome back to No Jumper News. It's Adam22 here with your man AD. Let's get right into these stories. So first story, an associate of NBA YoungBoy was indicted for the death of rival local rapper G Money born Garrett Burton. G Money was killed in a parking lot outside Burton's music studio on Dallas Drive in Baton Rouge back in September 2017. Prosecutors charged NBA Lil Pap with one count of second-degree murder over G Money's shooting. According to the documents obtained by The Advocate, investigators say that their feud ignited after G Money released a diss song aimed at YoungBoy's sister. Detectives stated in the warrant, in the days prior to Burton's death, both Burton and Golden made several social media posts about one another, which further exacerbated tensions between the two rival rap music groups. When Burton was killed, members of the NBA group were immediately developed as suspects due to the ongoing rap music feud. In a 2017 interview with Say Cheese, G Money stated that YoungBoy had got the big head after his success, adding that the two would likely never make music together. A month later, G Money was killed. Lil Pap was arrested in June of 2019 for the murder and faced a mandatory sentence of life in prison if convicted as charged. After learning of Lil Pap's indictment, YoungBoy's attorney James Manashe commented, "As far as I know, there's never been any insinuation that Kentrell had any involvement in this situation."
Next story. Chief Keef is seemingly over his old beef and moving on from the past. There's a video circulating on social media where YNB Almighty J says fuck Tuka while playing GTA with Chief Keef. And Sosa responds saying, "I don't even be saying shorty name no more. That shit is old."
Fuck Tuka, let me get it now.
Shorty name, all that shit old.
For those who don't know, Shondell Tuka Gregory was murdered while waiting at a bus stop in 2012, 8 years ago. His name is one of the most notable rap references on the drill scene. For some reason, the internet has taken apart and popularized the extremely disrespectful smoking meme. Tuka's mother spoke on the disrespect, pleading with people to stop using the reference altogether. She recently opened up about the pain she felt hearing her child reduced to a disrespectful meme. FBG Duck's mom also spoke about the memes, expressing her wish that people will stop saying things about people who are no longer here to defend themselves. We should also point out recently that Lil Durk dropped a video for Still Trappin' featuring King Von, and along with it, he announced that he will no longer name drop the dead in his music after he releases his deluxe album.
Okay, so I think that this is actually an interesting moment because with Chief Keef, we've seen him change a lot in comparison to, you know, who he was when he first came out as the sort of crazy gun-toting Chicago teenager. You know, we've seen some development with him musically, personality. We've seen his life change a lot, but it's interesting to see him sort of directly make it clear that he's not cool with the smoking on Tuka meme that he certainly helped popularize back in the day. One aspect of it is Almighty J. What right does he have to be throwing Tuka's name in that? That's one thing that I've always really objected to is like, if you are actually part of the gang war out there and you're going to be referencing somebody's dead ops, all right, I guess that's one thing. If you're just a total pedestrian, that shit's not cool. I've spoken to FBG Duck in the past when Lil Pump was doing it, telling him that I was gonna talk to him about that and whatnot. I mean, it's not cool if you're not involved in that shit to be saying that shit. In my opinion, even if you're involved in that shit, we really need to start normalizing not saying that shit. I know everybody laughed when when Gucci talked about smoking on Pookie Loke and whatnot, but when we talk about Tuka, I mean, that's a child. His parents are still around. They still feel horrible about it. There's a neighborhood that feels horrible about it. There's probably dozens of people who got killed after that as the repercussions from that one murder. Nip that shit in the bud. Leave it out.
Yeah, you hitting the nail on the head. You know, people made it so popular that I think that they can't even put a face to whoever that is.
You even had people like Young M.A. who said it in a song and then ended up taking it out because she didn't even realize what the reference was at that time.
Yeah, it's guys that I know from LA that has said the term but not knowing what they're talking about. You know what I mean? Like thinking they're talking about a strain or whatever it is because, you know, I don't think people see the seriousness of whatever the situation is. But, you know, it's dope for Chief Keef because, you know, he's being a man. Lil Durk is being a man and saying, you know what, like, people now, the kids looking up to them are going to sit there and say, you know what, they may say this is not cool now. We ain't going to talk about this no more. And that will save lives and that will help out the community and moving Chicago into a better place than what it currently is.
Hopefully it doesn't just leave the door open for rappers to come out and sort of make a name for themselves by saying the ignorant ass shit that Sosa and Durk don't want to be saying anymore. But I mean, all you really need to do is put yourself in the footsteps of someone else. If someone killed your homie and then you had to listen to like rappers who are putting out top 10 songs and then mentioning your homies, I mean, how would you feel? Wouldn't you want to kill somebody? Yeah, you probably would, and you probably feel pretty fucking justified in it. I mean, all this is just a really, really bad cycle that doesn't need to be perpetuated. And I'm glad to see Sosa as somebody who is very much at this point, even though he's young, he's still an elder statesman of the scene. He's coming out and making the proper viewpoint more illuminated, I think.
And yeah, and if you know, if media don't post people doing stuff like that, people are going to stop doing it. Because I feel like the only way now, a lot of artists are coming up, feel like if I did somebody dead, it's going to get a lot of attention to me, you know, doing more disrespectful stuff. So, you know, let's not post these people up that do stupid shit like that, and let's get right back to the music.
That's real. YouTube, do us a favor, like, comment, and subscribe. If we get to 59 likes on this one, AD's going to do the next episode with no shirt on. Appreciate y'all.